Key Nation, what's going on, man? It's your boy Manuel King, and today you see it in the title. We're going to be going over how to do a reverse reverb effect on your DAW, your box, your software, whatever you're recording it. All right, man. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button, 'cause we a movement, boy. Let's get it. We are here. If you can divert your attention over to the screen, you can see that this right here is the reverse reverb effect. And this is the statement that I say after the reverse reverb effect, man. So I'm going to play it for y'all. This is a song that I actually released, I want to say a cool not even 2 or 3 years ago. I'm old. 4 to 5 years ago. I released this about 4 to 5 years ago, man. And I think this is a timeless song, to be completely honest with you. I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to check it out. It's called Selling Dreams, off of my project, Chapter 7. So if you guys are interested, check it out. So let's go ahead and get into this, man. I'm going to play for you guys what the effect sounds like so that you guys can hear it. You feel me? I'm not going to play it with the instrumental because copyright and King don't want that. We don't want that. So let's get into it.
Baby think I love her.
So that is the effect in a nutshell. If you've listened to artists, I'm pretty sure you've heard that before. Future for sure does it. That was the very first time that I heard the effect, and I was like, yo, how do you do that? You know, because I engineer, you feel me? So I'm like, yo, how do you actually do that? And I looked it up and found out, and so those that come to my channel frequently, I want to be the one to teach this to y'all. So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. This is the effect that we are trying to get. I'm gonna play it for you guys one more time.
Baby think I love her.
Absolutely beautiful. Oh my God. Melted butter. You feel me? So let's go ahead and get into it, fam. What we want to do first is let me actually delete this and let's get rid of this for a second, right? We're gonna mute that. And let's focus specifically on this line here.
Baby think I love her.
So the effect that we're trying to get is we're trying to kind of create this vocal swarming effect to where you hear that reverse reverb, and it kind of goes right into the sentence. You hear that reverb that makes up the sentence, right? And even though this isn't like the best example because the reverb doesn't go directly into the sentence, you still get the effect at the end of the day. And that's what this whole video was about, to get the effect. So now we hear at the beginning of this sentence, you have baby, right? So let's listen to it first.
Baby think I love her.
Okay, so we know that we just want the beginning of it. We don't want the rest of this sentence right here. We just want the beginning of the verse, right? The beginning of the sentence. So let's just highlight this right here and hear it again.
Baby.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click it. And for any DAW, you guys can do this. You'll just have to find out the functionalities of it. For any DAW that you can do this, I'm going to double click it. And what that does is that's going to allow me to go into this file function here on Logic. And it allows me to listen to segments that I highlight. So since I have this beginning highlighted, I'm going to go ahead and play it. Bay. So we know that we want to create a reverse reverb vocal effect that ultimately ends in the B sound, right? That you feel me? That you get what I'm saying. I know that was kind of weird, but like you get what I'm saying. So boom, we got that, right? We know that that's we know that that's the sentence that we want the reverb to go into. So now that we have that, what we're going to do is we're going to right click and we're going to bounce this specific segment. I have it highlighted. We're going to bounce this specific segment. Now we're going to bounce it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't necessarily know why Logic decided to do this, but it wasn't like this before. But I'm going to tell you guys now. So if you guys do have Logic, for whatever reason, make sure that you check these boxes and you see that everything is supposed to include what it's supposed to include. So what we want to do is we want to create a different track, a different channel strip for what we're getting ready to create, which is ergo the destination, new track. We want to create a different channel strip. And then we want to make sure that we leave the previous one. So that's what this source means. Source means, do you want to leave it, right? Do we want to leave the original track? Do we want to mute the original track, or do we want to delete the original track? We don't want to mute it, and we don't want to delete it. We want to leave it so that if there's something that happens, if the file, if you didn't cut it right, if you wanted to get a little bit less of the beginning of the B of the B, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get a little bit less of it, if you want to get a little bit more of it, we want to make sure we still got it. So we're gonna leave the source. And we don't want to bypass the effect plugins because that's the effect that we already have on it. Now, granted, the effect that we already have on it is just your audio plugins that I have for the verse or whatever the case is. So it's not like there's something that's gonna alter what we're getting ready to create. So we want to make sure that the bypass effect plugins is, we don't want that. We don't want to bypass it. And here's the most important thing: include the audio tail in file. And the reason why you want to include the audio tail in file is because if you don't, what it'll do is it'll just cut it off right there. We don't want things just to be cut off, okay? We don't want things to be cut off because we want to allow the space for the reverb to flow, to do what it's supposed to do. You're not going to allow the reverb to do what it's supposed to do if you cut it off. So that's why I say include audio tail in file. And I'm going to tell you what the audio tail is once I do it. So let's go ahead and bounce it. Now, boom. So we have this, right? This is what the audio tail is. You have all of this space. You have all of this space to work with, right? And also too, it's not gonna sound different. It's not gonna sound weird. It's not gonna sound like automatically cut off if you don't include that audio tail in there. If you don't include the audio tail in there, then it's gonna sound kind of weird. It's not gonna sound like what you heard when we, as I said before, when we played this. It's not gonna sound like that. It might sound like bleh or boop. You know what I'm saying? If you don't include that audio tail in there. So that is the reason why we want to do that. I wanted to reiterate that because you don't get what you're really trying to get if you don't include that audio tail file in there. So there's that. Now, let's go ahead and get into creating the actual effect. And let's go ahead and just go back right there. Let's go ahead and get into creating the actual effect. Now, what we want to do is let's get rid of these buses because we're not worried about none of that. We're not worried about sending anything. We're not worried about any of that, right? Let's just get into straight the straight effects of it. So boom. This is what I want to tell you guys, right? It's very, very important that you listen to this part of it because some people will do this and won't get the effect that they're looking for, and this is the specific reason why. Now, as far as the reverb is concerned, you want to make sure that you choose a reverb that where the time extends past 4, 5, 6 seconds. And the reason why I say that is because think of let me let you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Here's a reverb, right? This is a reverb. Now we are applying this reverb effect to what we just previously bounced. So we're going to apply this reverb effect. Now, this reverb is at 4 seconds. Think of the reverb time is at 4 seconds. That is a very, very crucial component to creating this effect because the reverb time is going to create that that vocal swarming feel in your headphones and your speakers. That's what the reverb time is going to do. Think of the reverb time as kind of like a feedback loop for the delay. Right now, if you have watched my other videos, or if you're familiar with delay, you know that feedback literally is the definition of how long the delay lasts, right? So you might hear a hey, 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 hey. That's what the feedback loop is, right? How long the feedback loop is. So if I have a delay and I say hey, and I have the feedback loop set all the way, to maximum capacity, you're gonna hear hey, 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 for a very, very long time, right? But if I have the feedback loop and I have delay set at a lower capacity or set at the lowest setting, you're gonna hear, hey, hey, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? So if I could put that if I could use an analogy, that would be the analogy that I'm using, or if not an analogy, something that I compare it to, that's what that'd be. So let me give you an example of the reverb time here, right? So you see, and let me show you, you see how that kind of just really went away like quickly. And pay attention to the to your I don't know if it's an LCD display. Pay attention to the blue lines on the right hand side here and see how quickly it lasts. Goes down fast. See that? Goes down fast. Now watch when I increase the reverb time. See how long it lasts. It lasts a lot longer. And even if you hear it in the headphones, it lasts a lot longer. But we know that that's not enough. We need something that lasts longer than this, because that we're not going to get the effect that we're looking for. So to avoid that problem, we're going to find a reverb that does this, right? And I already have it up here. The R verb. Now, if you look at the time here, this goes past 6. This goes all the way up to 20, okay, for the reverb time. Now, we don't want it that long because that's ridiculous. But let's try to aim for around 8 to 9 seconds, somewhere around there, right? Now, let's replay this and see what we got. Let's extend this because it's going to be a little bit longer. You see how, and it's still going. You see how that still is going. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want. Let's go ahead and add that. Let's make sure, double check that we don't have any other plugins on this channel strip. We are solid. Let's do this one more time. Now we're gonna bounce this in place again. Make sure that we leave everything, because like I said, in case anything gets damaged, we can go back and reconfigure things if we need to. So let's bounce this down. Boom, we're right there. Okay, nothing's damaged, everything is good. Let's include it. Like I said before, we've included this audio tail file. All right. So now this is the effect that we have. Boom. This is your reverse reverb. It's kind of a tongue twister, but this is your reverse reverb. So we hear that, right? Now we notice that it's a little bit low. Okay, this is a little bit low. So let's go ahead and we're going to normalize it. And like I said, we could do this in any other DAW. This is what we're in Logic. So we're going to normalize it through a Logic function. I'm going to go ahead and double click, which is what I already did because it's my natural instinct. And we're going to normalize this so that we can enhance what we're hearing, right? So we're going to normalize it, and let's play it again. I'm sorry for y'all ears. I'm so sorry for y'all ears, but that's what we have. Now, listen to what I said before. At the beginning of it, we want to make sure the vocal swarm creates the sentence. The bait. You feel me? That bait. You know what I'm saying? So what we want to do is, where this is, we have the bass starting before the vocal swarm, before the reverse reverb vocal effect. We don't want that. We want to reverse, switch it around. So let's go ahead and let's switch this. Boom. So now we're gonna have the vocal swarm come in before it creates it. Just like that. Okay? Just like that. That's exactly what we want. Now, in order to get that, we want to make sure that this vocal swarm creates the bay. And you see how I have it right here? Essentially, that's kind of the same thing that we want to create. So we are going to place it where we see fit. So let's go ahead and bring this down. And I'll just kind of bring this up just for right now so that, you know, because we're using this one. Okay, we're using this one today. All right, so let's go ahead and place this here. Now, don't worry about being particular where you place it. You just want to make sure it feels good. Okay, so we're gonna bring this down, and we don't want to have all of this right here start before the actual sentence, because then it's gonna get too, convoluted in the actual sentence, and we don't want that. We want to have the vocal swarm effect, the reverse reverb effect to create the sentence and then have the sentence start. So we don't want all of this extras right here. We want to go ahead and bring this down so that it sounds natural and it's an actual effect. You see what I'm saying? So we're going to bring this down here and let's go ahead and play this again.
Baby think I love her.
Okay, so that sounds good. Let's actually double check here because sometimes the reverb will be on here and it's not. Okay, cool. So yeah, cool. So it sounds good, but we want to make sure that we have that creeping effect, right? We don't want to just hear you hear a little clicking sound at the beginning of this. We don't want that. Okay, we want it to creep in, you know. So let's go ahead and give and throw this on some automation here. We're gonna automate it. And what I did was I pressed A. I'm so naturally, you know, I do this naturally. So what I did was I pressed A to make this automation come up. I'm not gonna go over all of this, okay? I went over automation in my previous videos. I told y'all this is a journey. Okay, this is a whole journey out here. If you ain't been keeping in touch with my videos, you ain't gonna know this. It's a little bit advanced. You feel me? So come on, man. Let me make sure that I'm focused. I don't know what my lens going through. So boom. Let's play this again.
Baby think I love her.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? So that's it right there, man. That is your reverse reverb vocal effect. And where we at? We at about 5. This is about 5 dB. We want to make sure that the reverse, you know, the effect that we have is a little bit lower than where your actual decibel range is for your vocal that you're leading into. Because you want to create, like I said, that leading in. It's kind of like a crescendo. You want to create that leading in and then have wherever your verse starts to be the peak of where your decibel range is. You know what I'm saying? Just to have that natural body embodiment to it. You know what I'm saying? So that is it. Let's go ahead and play for you guys one more time.
Baby think I love her.
That sounds absolutely wonderful to me, man. So I wanted to go ahead and give you guys this in depth and really explain it and go over the reasons why I did what I did. Like I said, you can do this with any DAW. You can do this with Pro Tools, Studio One, whatever you're working with. You can do this with any DAW. This is just the DAW that I'm working with. So that is it, man. If you guys got anything else that you want for me to go over, please comment down below and let me know, man. I'll be sure and happy to do this. I love teaching y'all what I know. And if there's anything that I messed up on, please inform me because I'm always willing to learn. I'm going to see y'all in the next video, fam. Gang.